Oh, tuko live. Najua kuna watu wanafanya hivyo.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm from India. My name is Carmen.
Wow, fantastic. It's amazing to have you once again on this platform. We are back again with great and good news. And I hope you're doing well. And we're also doing well here. Yes, last time we did talk about contentment. And have you watched our video on contentment? Maybe if you have not, you can get to our channel and watch our video about contentment and then comment on what you've learned about contentment. Or maybe tell us on how maybe contentment has affected or has helped you in one way or the other. Otherwise, we are back again and acha leo tunazojaribu Kiswahili, lakini Kiswahili ni ngumu kidogo, but we are going to try. So there's something I have learned in the journey of leadership together with people that we have been with, friends, and also watching the leaders, more so in our country, even outside our country, and even in so many other examples like the Bible. And this thing really affects the effectiveness of any leader, the effectiveness of any organization, be it a person as an entity or be it a company, and so many other things. And it really determines how successful the leadership that is in place is going to succeed in one way or the other. And that thing is something that we call influence. That thing is what we call influence. And I remember in my previous place where I was in campus, I really used to remind people about what influence means to the lives of both that they do read or to the people that are looking upon them. In any family setup, you realize that any parent has an influence over their children. Like, for example, let me just be open. I know so many of us have gone through these things. Like, maybe if your mother or your father, they close with a neighbor about something, they'll come and tell you that you're not supposed to talk to that neighbor or you're not supposed to go to their place and all that and all that. Like, what I simply mean is that they influence you. Even though the neighbor has not wronged you, they influence you. They fill your mind with something that maybe you should not talk to that person or you should not go to their place. So it is something that is, we are saying now, influence. It's something that is coming from a reader and being directed to their subject. Or it must not be in an organization, as I've given an example. And there's one person we call Napoleon Hill who said that think twice before you speak, because your words and influence will plant the seed of either success or failure in the mind of another. So simply it is evident that whatever we plant to that person that we are reading, or the direction that we take them, really affects their success as a person, really affects their future as a person. If I'm a reader and I read people in the wrong direction, then that means that whole generation that is after me will live in an error. So it is always good to be careful and cautious on where we are taking people. So you don't expect to be taking people to, for example, Nairobi and get them in Kisumu, because they have to follow the direction that you are walking in. And whatever they encounter in that road that you're going through is what they are going to take as what is true, because you have been given that ability of being their read. So they follow what you're doing, they follow what you're saying. So that's why we are taught that anytime you speak, before you speak to someone who is looking upon you, it is good to think twice. Anytime that you take an action, to a person who is looking after you. It's good to think twice. It's good to reason and know what are the consequences. We talked about risk, calculating risk. It is good to calculate the risk and see what is this going to cost. For example, in an organization, maybe you just ulipata job kwa organization fulani na umepata kiongozi fulani ana lead a certain place. Of course, in the first days you do what they are doing because you learn from them. So many readers that are reading in the wrong way, it's because of what they transferred from those people who are reading them. Of course, there is the personal responsibility, but it is good to agree that there is a lot that we learn from the people that help us to grow to the next level. All our mentors and even those people that we take as our role models. So you being a role model, you being a leader of that organization, it's good to be cautious before you think, before you act, before even you stand somewhere, even before you dress and all those so many kind of things. It is good always to reason and know what kind of an effect it's going to cause to the someone that you are reading. Is it going to cause success or is it going to cause failure? And it's good to know that once this thing has been formed in their mind, these people grow with that thing. They are children that grow with what their parents do, and you cannot be able to convince them otherwise, even in future. And when they raise their families, they will always also raise their families in that kind of dimension. So it is good to know that whatever we do really influences, really affects the life of other people as readers, not even because you have a title, but even as you read your life, whatever you do really affects the life of the other person. And it's good to understand that you can never know the life that you influence. You can never know where, you can never know why, you can never know when. Some of these things are not known. Maybe you have influenced someone, but they have never told you that you really influenced them with what you are doing. So it's always good to be careful and cautious with whatever you're doing as a reader. There is one instance in the Bible where we see Jesus walking in the water, and then one of the disciples, after seeing Jesus walk in the water, also decides to walk in the water. So that is what influence can do, and it's good to understand that uh, if maybe you're given a chance to be a role model to someone, you should always uh, think of you influencing that person in the right direction and not in the wrong direction, or showing them the positive light, showing them where they're supposed to be, making their lives to be better. Of course, not by telling them to do a certain thing or telling them to walk in a certain direction so that they can be like you. Remember, influence is not being like you, but giving them that opportunity of seeing that which is positive, that which is right, and taking them in the right direction. Yeah. So it is very important to be able to do that. It's good to know that the key to successful leadership, again, is influence. The different types of leadership, there is something we call transformative, there is authoritative, there is democratic, there is something called Reicheza and all that. There are so many of them. But it is good to understand the key to leadership, or the key to a successful leadership, is influence. It is not authority. You know, there's these people that really want to put something in someone, even though they don't want to do it, you really want to press them so that they can do it or they can walk in a certain direction. And this sometimes do not add up because that person is not doing that out of their own heart or out of their own willingness, but they are doing it because it's out of authority. You want them to do it. Maybe for you, you are after results. But if you can choose now to lead the pace by you doing what you want them to do, then they can learn from you. And then leadership becomes easy, it becomes successful, and you're able to help those people that are looking after you to be able to read and to walk in the right direction. So it's good that you understand that, and also understand that your minds influence the key activity of the brain, not only your brain, but even the brain of the other person. And then now that affects or influences everything that they do. It influences, one, it is able to influence their perception of how they perceive things. If you show them this is how this thing is perceived or this is how this thing should be done, then they work with that perception. It also affects their cognition on how they are able to make their own decision. So it really affects their mind, the way that you display a certain thing. It also affects their thoughts, how they do things, how they would want to do their own things. And then again, sometimes it can affect their feelings and even how they reflect or they relate with people. These all maybe sometimes they are out of what you have projected as a leader. So it's good to be cautious about influence as a Christian leader, as a corporate leader, as a business leader. It's good to be cautious on how we influence people, on how we are leading people. Now, it's not about pretense because there can be someone who can live two faces of life or two different kinds of life. That when you're in public, you do it this way. When you're at home, you do it this way. It's supposed to be automatic and supposed to be one thing. Whatever you do, how you guide your life, how you carry your own things is the same that you should guide people to work in that direction. When we come to issues like time management, are you able to manage your time? Then you influence people in that direction, and then you realize that it gets easy to be able to influence people. I would like you to share with us on the comment section once you have watched the video. One thing that you are influenced in, and also maybe one thing that you influenced a person. Yes, I know when you were born, you didn't know how to speak, but with time you did know. How did you know? It is through your mother and father that they were able to teach you, they influenced you. And ukajua hii inafaa kusemwa hivi, inafaa kusemwa hivi, and all that and all that and all that. So in one way or the other, we are a product of an influence of someone or somebody or something. We have been influenced in one way or the other. No one can say that they have not been influenced by anybody or anyone or by situations and all that. So once again, it's good to realize on how and in which way that you are able to influence people. We have said you do not know where, you do not know when, and you do not know why you influence people, right? So it's not something that you do so that people can see and then they can start walking that direction. It's a lifestyle that you walk in, then people walk in that lifestyle, and then it should lead them to success of what they are doing. Maybe if they have a goal, your lifestyle or your influence towards them should lead them to success of that goal that they have in life. So once again, thank you so much for coming back and watching our video, and also subscribing, commenting, and sharing our video. And we believe that we shall continue to learn together. So until next time, be well, be happy, and may the Lord continue to keep you.